Welcome to our second week 7 video. This one is on trigonometric ratios, and this is the examples video. So this is where I go through the examples that I have in the notes. So let's look at our first example. Our first example is saying label the sides of these triangles. Alright, so we're going to label with O, A and H for opposite, adjacent and hypotenuse. Okay, so if we remember correctly, alright, our hypotenuse is the side that is directly opposite our right angle, which means this side here is going to be our H. Alright, then we've got our O is the side opposite the angle here, and then our adjacent is the side left over, or the side that has both the angle and the right angle. Okay, so let's go through and label the rest of these, because these are all different in different directions and everything. So if we look here, with the side with this and this is A. Alright, the side opposite is our hypotenuse and O. So this is going to become really quick and easy as you go. Alright, so A, O and H. A, O and H. Okay, so just double check by drawing those. If they help you at all, they just show a bit of arrow to show, make sure I've got them going where they're supposed to. So that's our first example. So our next example is using the given sides, write a trig ratio in fraction form for each of the following triangles. So what I'm going to start with for every single one of these is labeling my sides with O, A and H. Okay, so let's do it. This one's here is H, O and A. Okay, now just double check. Yes, I've got my two angles on the A side. Good. Okay. So now, from here, I'm going to look and go, okay, so I have got my O, A, and H labeled. Now what I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at which of these sides has a number that goes with it. So my H side here has an angle that goes with it, and my A side has an angle that goes with it. So because I've got my A and H, using my SOHCAHTOA, which I'll just write up here. Using my SOHCAHTOA, because I have A and H, I look for which one of these has A and H, which is my CA. So I'm going to use the cos. I'm going to use this one here. So I'm going to write A over H. Now, the last thing I just have to do to get my ratio is just substitute in these numbers. So where the A is, I'm going to put a 5, and where the H is, I'm going to put a 7. And that is all you have to do for this trig ratio. Okay, so let's repeat the process again in our next one. Start by labeling our sides and then choosing which one it is. So here we've got A, O, H and O. And don't forget, your biggest giveaway for H it's always the bigger side anyways. So now I'm going to look and go, okay, which sides have got a number with them? So here and here, so I've got O and H. So look and go, which one's got O and H? And so is... So I'm going to use the sine ratio, which is O over H, okay? So now we just substitute in numbers, so we've got 4 over 9. Done. Okay, last one. Start by labeling sides. A, O, and H. Look for which sides have got a number to go with it. So my sides O and A have got the number, which means O and A tells me 10. So TOA. Alright, so I'm going to use 10 of angle equals O over A. Okay, substituting those numbers, I've got 3 over 5. And that is that example done. Last example. So sometimes, especially when we go to do our quiz, another notation is used to label the sides of triangles. So if we look at this first one, we've got which side of this triangle is opposite to theta, the angle. Okay, now if I look at this, it looks ridiculous because I've got letters in the corners instead of on the actual sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to relabel these sides. So what happens is when I've got a T and a U, this side here is going to be TU. Okay, because it's going T to U. Then this side here is going to be U to V. And this side here is going to be T to V. So now I've got that, I can go ahead and do my normal labeling of O, A and H. and go, well, which side is opposite? Well, the one that has O on it, which means UV is opposite. Okay, so that's one way you may come across them, and that's how you work out what's going on. So our last one is we've got 6 centimeters is the length of the side that is opposite which angle? But they haven't drawn the angle here. Okay, so what you've got to do is you're going to have to put in your own angle. Alright, so they're telling us 6 is O. Okay, they've told us that straight off, which means if we follow our thing, that must mean this side here is our angle, which means our angle is D. Okay, and they'll often write it like this, with this like little triangle here to show angle. And if you wanted, you could go and finish labeling. So if they tell us 6 is opposite, we're just going to label and try and finish from there. And that is our examples for this week. If you have any questions, make sure to ask me, and we might do them in WebExes as well.